They tell you a mother's job is to let go, but no one prepares you for the day letting go feels like losing the two people you love most in the world at the same time. The day we drove from New Jersey to Alabama to drop my son off at college, the sky felt heavier than usual, as if it knew I wasn't ready. The car was loaded with everything he needed to begin his new life. And somehow, with every mile, I felt pieces of mine being quietly rearranged or quietly taken from me. My husband sat beside me, tired in a way that only someone fighting cancer can be tired. There were moments on that long drive when I looked at him and felt fear rise up in my throat like a wave I couldn't swallow. Moments when I glanced at my son in the back seat, knowing this was one of the last times he'd be there with us in that familiar spot within reach. I was worried about both of them, my husband, who was fighting for his life, and my son, who was about to start his. Two roads pulling me in different directions, and I was trying to stand in the middle without breaking. I kept pretending I was okay. For my husband, for my son, for myself, even though the truth sat like a stone in my chest. I had been carrying so many changes, so many losses, so many fears quietly inside me. Some days it felt like I was holding my breath from morning until night, taking care of my husband, watching him struggle, holding his hand through doctor's visits, medication, treatments, all of it. My son had been the one person who helped me through that, the one person who eased the weight just by being there, by understanding, by standing next to me at appointments where I didn't want to be alone. And now he was leaving me in a world that suddenly felt too big, too quiet, too much, leaving me to navigate a storm with fewer hands to hold on to, leaving me when part of me still needed him. Not because he owed me anything, but because the love between a mother and son is something that steadies you, even when you don't realize it. I wanted him with me forever, not to stop him from living his life, but because I wasn't ready to face the next chapter without him. Because my heart still needed him in ways I couldn't admit out loud. When we pulled onto his campus, it felt like the moment I had been dreading all day finally caught up to me. Students were moving in, laughing, beginning their own stories. Life was starting all around us, while mine felt like it was quietly unraveling at the edges. I watched him walk across the campus with a confidence I had always prayed he'd grow into, and I was proud, God, I was proud. He was the first in our family to go away to college, the first to reach dreams bigger than what life handed us. He earned opportunities that I never had, and that alone made my heart swell with a love so big it almost hurt to hold. But pride doesn't stop the breaking. Helping him move his things in felt like placing pieces of him into a world I wasn't a part of. Every step he took felt like a small goodbye. When he hugged me, I held on for a second longer than I should have, trying to memorize the feel of him, the safety of him, the piece of my life that was walking away. He let go first, and in that split second, that tiny, fragile moment, I understood something no one had ever told me. A mother can be proud and shattered at the same time. A mother can want the world for her child and still want her child to stay. A mother can love so deeply that the act of letting go leaves marks no one else can see. The drive home was silent except for the sound of my heart breaking. The back seat was empty, but filled with echoes, echoes of childhood, of laughter, of arguments, of late night talks, of every moment that made me a mother. I cried for him. I cried for my husband. I cried for myself, for the life that was changing faster than I could hold it together. It felt like being left behind, not because he meant to leave me, but because life was pulling us all in different directions, and I was losing the version of life I had known for so long. But the truth is this: my son wasn't leaving me. He was becoming who he was meant to be. And even though it broke me, I knew I had to let him step into that life. A life bigger than my fear, bigger than my grief, bigger than the ache of watching him go. I left a part of my heart in Alabama that day, but I also carried home a deeper understanding of love. That real love holds on tightly, but also knows when it's time to open its hands. And if there is anything I've learned, anything my heart whispers to me on the nights when the house feels too quiet, when the world feels too heavy, when I miss the sound of his footsteps coming down the hall, it's this. Remember the moments that seem small. Believe in the love that shaped them. Hold it close and let it go when the time comes, even when it tears you open. Because letting go is the hardest thing I have ever done. Harder than the long drives, harder than the sleepless nights, harder than watching my husband battle something I couldn't fix, harder than pretending I was strong when I was falling apart inside. My life was changing, shifting under my feet faster than I could steady myself. And in that split second, that sacred, heartbreaking moment when he walked away, I wished I had listened more. To him, to the laughter, to the stories he told me at the kitchen table, to the moments I rushed through because of dishes in the sink, laundry waiting, bills that needed paying, deadlines that felt urgent but weren't, all the adult things that steal us from our own children. If I could go back, I would trade every chore, every to-do list, every small distraction for just one more hour of him sitting on the couch next to me, for one more car ride, for one more late night talk when the world was quiet and it was just us. I would hold those moments tighter. I would breathe them in deeper. Because the truth, the one that cuts deeper than anything, is that time is the one thing we never get back. Those days, those years, those small ordinary miracles, they slip through our hands before we even realize we were holding them. And now it's over. That chapter is closed. But the love that raised him, the love that watched him walk away, the love that will follow him anywhere, that remains. It stays lodged in my chest, steady and aching, reminding me that letting go isn't the end. It's the proof that I loved him enough to give him the world, even when it meant losing a piece of mine.